things to recognize is that smoke plume, covered a really large geographic area. And the modeling that we did drove how we determined where we were going to sample. You'll see this figure in one of the slides here in a few minutes, but this was the area, in this area and a little bit further downwind, was the most heavily impacted area. It wasn't the only impacted area. You all know that because you lived it. You know that before the vent and burn operation that there was smoke swirling all over the city. And that's one of the reasons that we chose this 1 mile radius around the derailment site. You also know that the wind shifted. It wasn't just that area to the southeast into Pennsylvania that was affected. It was also areas up north. It shifted and moved straight north. So we know that there was a very large geographic area impacted.
PhD environmental toxicologist. I grew up in Ohio, in Cincinnati. I got my medical degree from the Ohio State University and my PhD from the University of Cincinnati. Most of my career has been spent dealing with industrial chemical poisonings and environmental releases. Based on my best judgment, there will not be any long-term health impact of chemical exposure from the derailment to community members of East Palestine. But as far as people just living in East Palestine or working there or in nearby neighboring communities, we don't expect there to be any long-term health effects associated with chemical exposure resulting from the derailment.
No, that's not accurate. I know that we did not set guidelines to say no testing. Okay. That was not a message that the city put out. I understand. I totally understand. So let me address a question about what we can do. Okay, you're absolutely right.
I want to help. Yeah. But I want to be helped.
Of course,
of course.
This
is a mutual learning situation.
Yeah.
So
one thing that we can agree on, the exposure happened. It happened. We have symptoms. It's documented. That's why we did the ACE investigation. You know, I don't think, like 80% of the people are making up stuff. The same symptoms, not possible, okay, not possible, all right? So the exposure happened already. The problem is that for us to fix exposure, we have to go back in time, and we can't do that.
Oh, yeah, no,
It's not possible. Right, exactly. Not possible, okay? So then what do we do, okay? What we can do then is first, if you're gonna develop any sort of the really scary health effects in the future, cancer, for example, angiosarcoma of the liver, that's a cancer for vinyl chloride, we wanna detect that early. So that's the reason why we're saying go to your doctor so that you can get examined and get the proper test. We know how to treat angiosarcoma. We may not know how to get rid of vinyl chloride from the body, but we know how to treat those cancers, okay? So one thing is to see your doctor so we can get that taken care of. The second thing is there are some things that you can do so you can prevent any further dysfunction in your liver. Things like if you drink alcohol, think about cutting down. If you smoke, think about these are all things that we can do that are doable, okay? But you're right. There is no way to get rid of vinyl chloride from the body. There is no way to get rid of dioxin from the body. No way. There's no treatment. You can even do dialysis, you know, like filter your own blood, okay? Not possible. Once that's in your body, you know, that's it. The exposure happened and the damage, you know, could have happened. But, excuse me? Into fat, yes. It's stored in fat, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So you've done all your research, definitely. Really.
When the truth comes out, when the truth comes out, you can run, but you know it's ending. At the bottom of the grave, you're digging out. When the truth comes out, yeah, you know this is just the beginning. Lights crumble down when the truth comes out.